Starts with the biopharmaceutics classification system, that is called as BCS class of the drug. So what is meant by BCS classification? So in this BCS classification, we are going to classify the drug in four different categories: class 1, class 2, class 3 and 4. And why to classify this drug? Because it is this classification will decides the dosage form, type of dosage form. Suppose some drugs are highly soluble in the water, then we will go for oral dosage form. Suppose some drugs are having poor water solubility, then we will go for parenteral dosage form. So in this way, on the basis of this BCS classification, we are going to decide the type of dosage form. So if you take a survey of medical store, so once you enter, you can find out the different types of dosage form. Some are solution, some suspension, emulsion, tablets, capsule, parenterals, suppositories. Different types of dosage forms are available in the medical store. So how the scientists are going to decide which dosage forms will be more suitable for the given type of the drug. So this type of the dosage form can only be identified on the basis of their BCS classification. So on the basis of these four classes, class 1, 2, 3 and 4, on the basis of these classes, we will decide the type of dosage form which is more suitable for the given drug. Suppose the drug is very poorly soluble in the water and you are going to prepare oral dosage form. So there is no meaning of preparing the oral dosage form because this drug is having very poor solubility. Once it enter into the stomach, it will remain as it is. There will be no dissolution. So because of its low solubility, we cannot administer these drugs from the oral routes. That's why it is very essential to identify the class of the drug. And how to identify the class of drug, whether it stands in class 1, 2 or 3 or 4. So this class can be decided on the basis of solubility, on the basis of their partition coefficient. We already studied all this factor in previous lecture. So on the basis of partition coefficient, on the basis of dissolution, solubility, so on the basis of these pre-formulation studies, we are going to finalize the BCS class of given drug. So that's why BCS classification is very important in order to finalize the type of dosage form. So, so this BCS classification is mainly done on the basis of dissolution, solubility and intestinal permeability. You just focus on the underlying word. So the BCS classification is done mainly on the basis of dissolution, solubility and intestinal permeability. Mainly on the basis of solubility and permeability. Dissolution and solubility you can consider one and the same thing. So on the basis of their solubility and intestinal permeability, we are going to classify the drugs into BCS system. BCS is also a fundamental guideline for determining the condition under which IV/IVCs are expected. IV/IVC stands for in vitro in vivo co-relationship. In vitro in vivo co-relationship. And what is this in vitro in vivo co-relationship? How this BCS is very helpful in to determining the in vivo co-relationship, because suppose we are going to perform the dissolution studies in vitro. By taking dissolution apparatus, we are going to find out the time taken by a particular dosage form for the dissolution studies. Suppose given paracetamol tablet get dissolved in 30 minutes completely, releases the drug completely, 100% drug releases in 30 minutes from paracetamol tablet. So we can correlate these studies with the in vivo. In vivo means inside the body. So we are expecting that same amount of drug is releasing in stomach also. Whatever the drug release you are getting in vitro, means outside of the body, we can expect that same amount of drug release may be releasing in the stomach also. So in this way, we are we are able to find out the in vitro in vivo correlationship. So in this way, BCS is helpful in establishing in vitro in vivo correlationship. It is also a tool for developing the in vitro dissolution specification, as we have already discussed. How it is helpful in determining the in vitro dissolution specification? Specification means what? If you open the Indian pharmacopoeia, British pharmacopoeia, US pharmacopoeia, in every pharmacopoeia, there is some specification for dissolution studies. If you open the diclofenac page, diclofenac tablet, the dissolution profile is given. You have to perform the dissolution studies using USP type 2 pedal apparatus. For another drug, suppose XYZ, uh, dissolution studies specification is given, like the dissolution apparatus may be your basket type of apparatus for 30 minutes and 100 rpm, 50 rpm. So in this way, in every pharmacopoeia there is some specification is given for the different type of the drug. So now let us see the BCS classification, how we can classify the drug into 4 different categories. So just look at this table. Here is the BCS class. Then this BCS class is mainly classified on the basis of their solubility and permeability. Now what steps to be taken? Oral dosage form approaches, whether it is to be prepared for oral dosage form or from other dosage form. And lastly, the chance of non-oral dosage form, whether the given drug is suitable for non-oral dosage form or not. So this type of decisions to be made from this BCS classification. Let us study one by one. So this is the BCS class 1, and this is very important. Just listen it very carefully. It will helpful to you up to your post graduation or even in the industries also. So first class is BCS class 1, and in this BCS class 1, those drugs will be considered which are having high solubility and high permeability. So in this BCS class, only those drugs will be considered which are having high solubility and high permeability. If the drug is having high solubility and high permeability, simply we can prepare solid oral dosage form. Means you can consider either tablet or capsule. So in this way we can prepare the solid dosage form for the BCS class 1 drug. And in this last class, the chances of non-oral dosage form being required. What are the chances so that we can prepare non-oral dosage form? So if the drug is having high solubility and high permeability, 98% chances that we will go for solid oral dosage form. Means you can prepare either tablet or capsule. But in case suppose if the drug is having some side effects after taking orally, suppose it causes the stomach ulceration, then only in such cases we can prepare the suppositories also, or we can also prepare the sublingual dosage form. So if the drug is having high solubility and high permeability, then mostly we will go for solid oral dosage form only. And if in case of any problem, suppose the drug is having some side effects like ulceration, then only we can go for either sublingual dosage form or suppositories, rectal dosage form, or we can also prepare the parenteral dosage form only in case of problems. So this is the first class. Second BCS class. So in this, those drugs will be considered which are having low solubility and high permeability. Drug is having low solubility and high permeability. Now in this case, look at the last column. The blue region is large. The chances of non-oral dosage form preparing, the chances of non-oral dosage form is more. Whereas in case of class 1, chances of non-oral dosage form is very less. Means in this case we cannot prepare the non-oral dosage form. Only oral dosage form is suitable. But in the second class, blue region is very dark. Means here the increasing chances for non-oral dosage form. Why the chances for non-oral dosage form is increasing? Because this drug is having low solubility. If you prepare a tablet of this type of drug, it will not get solubilized in the stomach. So that's why it is better to prepare the non-oral type of dosage form. Means you can prepare a parenteral type of dosage form if the drug is having low solubility. So in this way we are going to decide the type of dosage form from the BCS classes. So I hope you understand these two classes. Now let's moving towards the third class. Now in the second class you can see that if the drug is having low solubility and high permeability, the problem is with the low solubility. If the drug is having low solubility, still there are less chances that you can prepare oral dosage form. But how we can prepare oral dosage form of low solubility drug? By increasing the solubility of this type of drug. And how to increase the solubility? By increasing the surface area like particle size. For example, griseofulvin. Griseofulvin is one of the drug which is having very poor solubility. But by decreasing the particle size, you can increase the solubility to various folds. So by decreasing the particle size, you can increase the solubility, or by means of solid solution or solid dispersion. Another approach is solutions using solvent and surfactant. By addition of co-solvents like ethanol, by addition of ethanol like solvents, we can increase the solubility. Or by addition of surfactants also, we can increase the solubility. Surfactant means which can decrease the interfacial tension. Just wait. Okay. So now the third class is the drugs which are having high solubility and low permeability. Means in this case, the problem is with the low solubility. So in that case, incorporate the permeability enhancer and maximize the local luminal concentration. Means without permeability enhancer, suppose we are talking about the drug which is having high solubility and low permeability. Means once you take a tablet of this type of drug, it will enter into your stomach, it will get completely dissolved. The problem is not with the solubility, problem is with the permeability. Although the drug is getting completely dissolved in your stomach, it is not necessary that it will be absorbed. Although the drug get completely dissolved, it is not necessary that it will absorb, because the drug is having low permeability, it will not absorb. So that's why in this case we can add the permeability enhancer, so that it will maximize the luminal concentration. Without permeability enhancer, your drug will not be absorbed, although it is having a very high solubility. So in such cases, we can incorporate the permeability enhancer, so that the drug will be absorbed from the lumina or the intestinal stomach barrier. So in this case, single line is given, bluish area is very less. So in this case, the chances of non-oral dosage form is less. Means in this case also we can design this type of class for oral type of drug delivery. Those which are having high solubility, we can consider it for the oral dosage form. Now last one is the low solubility and low permeability. Means in this case, there are various barriers. First problem is with the solubility, and second problem is with the permeability. So in this case, only parenteral dosage form is only the criteria. So in this case, directly you can prepare an injection and directly inject it into your circulatory system, so that there will be no problem of absorption and no problem of permeability. Directly we are going to transfer the drug into your bloodstream. And now suppose in case you prepare a tablet of this type of drug, so because of low solubility, it will not dissolve in the stomach. But although in case of, suppose you are increasing the solubility by means of particle size reduction by using surfactant, solvent, although you increase the solubility, but again problem stands with the permeability. Now again, if you think that again we are going to add some permeability enhancer so that it will be absorbed, so this method will be very costly and it will be very tedious. So instead of taking that much efforts, it is better to use the parenteral dosage form. Directly prepare the dosage form, parenteral dosage form, and inject it into the circulatory system. So in this case, there is no chance. Here you can see that there is no blue band. So it means that there is no chances for oral drug delivery. So directly you can prepare a parenteral dosage form. So in the first case, you can see single bluish line is there. So in case the drug is having any side effect like ulceration or that, so in that case only we can go for suppositories or sublingual dosage form instead of solid oral dosage form. In the second class, bluish region is very dark. It means that this type of drugs are not suitable for the oral dosage form. But you can see one or two bands are there. It means that by increasing the solubility, by addition of surfactant solvents, or by increasing the decreasing the particle size, we can consider it for the solid dosage form. And in the third one also, so in this case, by addition of permeability enhancer, we can consider this class also for the oral dosage form. But mainly it is also used for non-oral dosage form. And lastly, there is no bluish line, means it is not suitable for oral dosage form. It will not consider at all for the oral dosage form. So that's why there is no bluish line. It means it is only suitable for the parenteral dosage form. So this is the BCS classification, and on this BCS classification, we are going to finalize the type of dosage form. What type of dosage form will be most suitable? Whether it may be tablet, it may be capsule, or whether it may be injection form, it may be cream, ointment, or whatever it may be.